Hi everyone. Welcome to today's lesson in which I will teach you how to master the art of doing multiple choice questions or MCQs as we normally call them. Follow the method in this video and you will feel more confident when you do your tests or exams or both. I'm Melaine from English Made Easy, bringing you these useful lessons to help you improve your English and perform better in your tests and exams. So, if you have not already subscribed to English Made Easy, please do so right away. That way, you will not miss out on any of the lessons that I post. Here is a link to some of the English literature lessons that I have done. And now, without much ado, let's get on with today's lesson. Are you excited? So, do you want to do well in multiple choice questions? Of course, you do. Continue watching and you will do well. You will learn the technique. You will know how to master these type of questions. Read through the instructions carefully. That is the first thing you need to do. Why? Because sometimes you may be required to choose more than one answer. The question may say, choose the correct options, choose the correct answers, which means that there could be more than one correct answer. So read the instructions very carefully. They could ask you to choose the best option. Why? Because all the options given might be so similar to each other. So you have to choose the best one. Or they may ask you to choose the incorrect option. They could even do that, give you all right options and one will be not right over there, and they will ask you to choose which one is not correct, which one is the incorrect option. Now, you will only know what they are asking you to do if you read through the instructions carefully. Spend time doing this before you start. Then read the question carefully. Now that you have read the instructions and you know what you are expected to do in your test or your exam, read the question carefully. Focus on the question. Do not look at the options. Very often, you know what students do? They look at the question and they look at the options and say, yes, I know the answer. And they are very quick to choose the option that they think is right. Don't do that. Focus on the question. In fact, if you can cover the answers with a sheet of paper or a notebook, that would be even better. Try to understand the question as best as you can. If you cannot understand it, read it again. Look at the question only, not at the options. Sometimes there are negative phrases in the question which make it more confusing. Take time to analyze them carefully. That is why you have to spend time reading the question very carefully. I'll give you an example here. Please take a very careful look at this picture. Do you know what you can see in the picture? Okay, now suppose this was a question. You cannot see and you have five options to pick from. Now, if you don't read the question carefully, you will say, oh, what can I see in the picture? What can I see in the picture? A boat? Yes. Water? Yes. An island? Yes. There it is. Grass? Oh, yes. A man? No. So, what are the correct options? Come on, tick fast. A, B, C, D. And then what happens at the end of the test? When the results come, you realize that you have got the question, the answers wrong because you did not take time to read the question carefully. That's what I mean when I say read the question carefully. Now let's read it again. You cannot see. It's a negative question. What can you not see in the picture? A boat? I can see a boat. You cannot see water? Oh no, I can see water. You cannot see an island? But I can see an island. You cannot see grass? I can see grass. You cannot see a man? Ah. I cannot see a man. So what's the right answer? A man. I hope I made that very clear. Please read your question very carefully. And if any of you got this answer right, good for you. See if you can answer the question without looking at the options that are given. Okay? In most cases, you will be able to. Sometimes looking at the options can confuse you, so try not to look at them right away. Use the knowledge you have to come up with an answer on your own. I will give you an example. Look at this picture very carefully. Do you know what this is? Tomatoes. Okay, now read the question carefully. Ripe tomatoes are dash in color. Now, I'm not going to show you the options. What I mean by this here is see if you can answer the question without looking at the options that are given. So now I'm not showing you the options, but can you answer the question? Ripe tomatoes are dash in color. Can you? Use the knowledge you have to come up with an answer on your own. So, what would your answer be? If you're saying red, yes, of course, you're right. Now that you have red in your mind, look at the options. So you have green, yellow, blue, pink, red, black. And your answer should be red. Got it? If you can answer it, if you can answer the question like you just did with me when I asked you what color are ripe tomatoes and you said red, if you can answer a question like that without looking at the options, read through the options carefully and choose the right one, like we just did. Take care to read through the answers carefully because there may be more than one very similar ones. These are trick questions. They're called trick questions because they want to trick you to see if you really have the right knowledge and you are able to decide which is the right option. The best way to go about this is to find qualifiers. Now, what are qualifiers? Qualifiers are words that tell you about particular circumstances or conditions, like time, before, after, or superlatives like most, least, or conditionals like unless, if. So, look for these kind of words. It will help you to choose the right option. Choose an answer that answers the question completely. Look at your option very carefully and pick an option that can answer the question thoroughly, completely. For example, look at this picture very carefully. So, the bird you can see is called a budgie. I'm sure many of you are very familiar with that and you have budgies as pets. I do. A budgie, the budgie is your question. Now be very careful with your options. So the budgie is white and green in color, enjoying itself, sitting on the palm of my hand. So what's the right option? See, some of them are so confusing. Why? You need to read your answer very carefully. Why? Because if you are in a hurry and you're looking at the time limit and you'll say, oh, I have to be fast. The budgie is white. Yes, 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 white is the right answer. Tick it. Okay? But no, it isn't because it's not white and green in color. There's no green there. The budgie is enjoying itself. Is that right? The budgie is sitting on the palm of my hand. Now, if you know what the palm is, then you'll know that that's not right either. The budgie is sitting on a finger here, not on the palm. So, what should you take? Enjoying itself. Get what I mean? If you cannot understand it, if you cannot understand the question, read through the options carefully and eliminate the options that are not possible. So now all this time we saw what to do if you can understand the question. Now to understand the question, like I said, you may need to read it more than once. Read it twice, thrice. Try and understand it. Try and come up with an answer yourself without having to look at the options. If you can do that, then the first part of the video is going to tell you what to do next. Suppose you cannot do that. If you have a question in front of you that you cannot understand, what should you do? Read through the options carefully again. Then Eliminate the options that are not possible. So go through the process of elimination. Not this one, not this one, not this one, not this one, so it has to be this one. Get what I mean? You may be provided with two options or even six possible options. Some teachers may give just two options for you to choose from, that's easier. Or you may have three, or four, or five, or even six possible options. You may think you have found the right answer and choose it without going through all the other options. Later, you may discover that there was a more appropriate answer. So be very careful, read through every single option. Even if there are six options, you have to read through all six of them very carefully. So read through every option that is given to you, no matter how confident you are of the right answer. All right? Here's an example for you. Now look carefully at that picture, very carefully. Here's your question. There were two men. There were two men. Can you see two men? Okay, that's the question. Now, can you complete that in the right way according to the picture? There were two men in their boats. There were two men in their boat. There were two men in their sailing boat. There were two men sitting in the boat. Like I showed you over here, what I tried to say was options can be very similar to each other. So don't just look at the first possible option and say, yes, 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 there were two men in their boats. Correct, ticket. Don't do that. Read through every single option and see which is the most correct. I'll go through it with you. Let's see if you guess the right answer. There were two men in their boats. Boats meaning more than one boat. Can you see more than one boat? No. So that cannot be the right option. The very fact that S is written there means it is not one boat, it's more than one. So that's not right. There were two men in their boat, meaning one boat. Yes, there were two men in the boat. But let's not be in a hurry to say that this is the right answer. Let's go through the other two options and see if anything is more correct. There were two men in their sailing boat. Is that a sailing boat? No. A sailing boat would have had a sail. This is definitely a canoe. There were two men sitting in the boat. Now, are they both sitting? No. One is sitting, one is standing. So now that we have analyzed all four options carefully, we can say that one of them is actually right. Which one? In their boat. One boat. I hope you understood what I have been trying to say. Be sure to be absolutely certain that you have picked the right answer. Read through the question and answer and see if it makes sense to you. You got what I mean? Can I go back to this and show you what I mean? Read through the question and the answer together and see if it makes sense. There were two men in their boat. Does that make sense? Read the question and the answer. There were two men in their boat. Yes, there were two men in the boat. That's what I mean. Here you can see the picture a little more clear. It's larger. So look at the answer again. There were two men in their boats. Wrong, because there's not more than one boat. In their boat, yes, there's one boat. In their sailing boat, no, it's not a sailing boat, it's a canoe. Sitting in the boat, no, because one is standing. So that's the right answer. Time limit. Ah, that's what most students get very worried about. You know, they keep thinking, oh, there's a time limit and I need to finish every question very fast, especially these days because of the pandemic, because of the online tests that we are. Of course, you will have a time limit, but my advice to you is that you should not watch the time. You know, very often students get so distracted, they keep watching the time and then they can't concentrate on the question and answer that's in front of them. If you have a minute for each question and keep tracking the time, you will not be able to concentrate on the question and answers in front of you. Do not skip the questions you can't answer and do the ones you know first. When you have a normal question paper, not a multiple choice question paper, then you can do that. You can skip whatever you don't know, you can come to it later. But when you have multiple choice questions, it is advisable not to do that. That is not the right strategy for multiple choice questions. Go in order and do one question at a time. Do not leave a question without answering it unless you have negative marking, which is rare. There are very few competitive exams that have negative marking. I don't know if they still do. They used to, but I'm sure at the school and college level, you don't normally have negative marking. So don't leave any questions without answering them. Answer them all. Why? Because there is a possibility that you will get it right and you will get your marks. So don't leave any questions. Preparation is very important. Prepare for your test well in advance. Read through the text several times. Practice multiple choice questions from past papers or ones that your teacher makes for you. It will give you the practice you need. All the best. And remember that success is 99% perspiration and 1% inspiration. What does that mean? 99% of your success will come from hard work. So work hard. And only 1% is left to inspiration, meaning a sudden thought you have or something that you would like to call luck, maybe. So please do work hard. And if I can help with anything, do let me know. I do hope that today's lesson has helped you to understand how to do multiple choice questions or MCQs better. And now you feel more confident. I hope that by watching this video, you were going to be able to obtain better marks in your tests and exams. If you liked the lesson, do hit that like button and share it with your friends who may also need help understanding how to do MCQs. I will be posting many more lessons on MCQs, so don't forget to subscribe. Hope to see you in the next video as I will be doing a test on Tales of Young Gandhi, which we did recently. The test will be in multiple choice question form, MCQs. I can't wait to see how well you perform in that test. For now, I'll say bye. Do revise the lessons so that you can perform well in the test that I have prepared for you. Okay? Bye.